Greetings. Welcome to the Yang Style Tai Chi course. I'm Michael Gilman. This week we have a special lesson, and it's a very special form. It's called Tai Chi Saber Applications Form, also known as the Partner Saber Form. Now, it's a very short form that explains the various elements of the use of the saber. Now, the saber is one of the great weapons of the Chinese antiquity, and it was used by basically the soldiers, the frontline soldiers, and it's a very strong, bold weapon. And this short form will explain a lot of the use of the saber. Now, we use the same basic principles, the same stances as we do in the regular Yang style solo forms. So there are two halves to this form. There's an A side and a B side. And the way it's designed is there's a linking transition so that after the very short 8 movements, then A turns into B and B turns into A, and it goes around and can go unendingly like that. So what we're going to do is do it. We're a bit restricted in the studio because it's a rather small studio. This form can be very bold, very large, very fast. And when playing or practicing with a weapon, you must be very careful, because even though this particular saber is an aluminum weapon, it's not sharp, it's a practice weapon, it still has a point that's not sharp, but it could still put out an eye. It could still break a bone. So particularly you at home, you see these techniques, please don't just grab some, implement that you've got lying around and start slashing around. It's a responsible, you have to be responsible when you're learning and using any weapon. So I caution you, you can hurt somebody permanently. So be very careful. When you're learning, we always start off very easy, practice very softly, very easily, and then when you and your training partner trust each other, you can then work up to various speeds and intensities. So please pay attention to that. Now, another thing, a thing to look at, and that we'll be talking about as we go through this lesson, is the 3 layers or levels of attacking. There's basically the low level, which are the legs, usually the knees, the middle level, which is usually the belly and the rib area, and the upper level, which is the neck and the head. And you will see as we go on, and particularly when we talk about the application section, that there's a lot of faking and feigning that goes on with weapons, just like in using the solo form. There's a lot, you fake to one level and you go to another, because the idea is that when you fake to a level, say if I'm attacking my partner up, well, she or he will bring their defenses up, and that makes the bottom open for attack. And so you fake up and go down, and we're always varying and going through these various levels, and you'll see that as we work through this. Okay, so I think my teaching partner in this is Stephanie Morell, who's not a stranger to any of you. And so Stephanie, if you will come in. Greetings. So the greeting when holding the saber is you hold the saber, as you can see, in your left hand, and it's sort of as if you had your palm forward and you place the saber in it with the sharp edge out. Would be the sharp edge, and it would be outward. And because you could see if she held it like this, any little movement could cut her. And holding it forwards is okay. You'll see that a lot. But I generally tend to like to hold it outward. And it's just held loosely to the side. And you have a nice, easy grip on it. So when you go to greet your partner, you place the other hand on it, and signifying yin and yang. This would be yang, and this would be yin in this case. And you greet your partner in that way. And you'll see that the first movements have to do with greeting the partner. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through the form, straight the form. We're going to go through the A, transitioning into B, transitioning into A, transitioning into B. We're going to do that twice. And so you get an idea of the flow and the simplicity of this form. We're then going to break it up, show you the applications. We're then going to break it up into the explaining each side separately. We'll then put them together again, and then hopefully if we have time at the end, we'll work on some really fun drills that you can work on with your training partner. Okay, so we're going to go through first. So let's move down this way a little bit, shall we? Now this form does not take a lot of room. It's a very kind of the way it's designed for practice. It's kind of close in. It could take a lot more room if we let ourselves really dance around with it. But particularly here, we'll be a little more contained. And okay, so we're starting with our feet together. And it's you start off just slightly past the range of easy. I can't quite get to her. I'd have to move out of my stance. So that's the distance that we generally start with.